Never mind. These are the things that are bothersome. That's why.
I don't think she has a mic.
Are we live? Okay. All right. Good morning. Good morning again. We're going to get started. Don't forget to turn off your phones or anything else that makes noise. Any paperwork for us, please give it to Mr. Curran. And we're going to do an invocation led by Commissioner Volrath, and then the pledge by soon to be relocating Chief Public Defender Paul Jancha Jr. So if you wish to join us in either of those, please rise.
Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day and ask for your presence and divine guidance as we gather together. We humbly ask you to guide our hearts and our minds in the decisions we'll be making that may affect us all. We pray for this in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Bell. Curran.
Here.
Freeling. Present. Harrison.
Here.
Hinkleman. Majerick.
Here.
Martin.
Here.
Scott.
Present.
Walrath. Werfel. Here. Yarborough. Present. Elliott.
Here.
Mr. Chair, you have 11 present, 1 absent.
Thank you. Minutes from the full board meeting last week need to be approved. Haven't heard about any changes. Is there a motion to approve those minutes as submitted by the clerk?
So moved.
Moved by Scott. Is there support?
Support.
Supported by Werfel. Photo finish. She just nosed you out, Jim. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Madam Clerk, please note my abstention since I was absent. I understand we have some communications.
Yes. You received one, and it was from the 4-H program coordinator, Clara Juggerman, sending you the Berrien County 4-H newsletter known as the Berrien County 4-H Spotlight, December 2022 and January 2023 issue received on December 7th. That's all.
Thank you. We moved requisition review from 8:35 to 10:30. In the last hour and a half or so, we've received some additional information specific to the 975,000 and change requisition for the Spicer Group, the engineering firm. Ezra.
Yes, I objected to this and asked it to be pulled. During committee meetings, the drain commissioner visited us and explained that he had not seen that yet, but he knows that that figure is off. It seems there was an extra zero that was inadvertently added. So we're actually looking at a engineering fee of only $97,422.34, and I'm very satisfied with that. Thank you, sir.
Any questions, comments? The drain commissioner is here. Is that an accurate summary of what should be on that requisition?
That's correct, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, all right. Ezra inquired about a 10% commission or finder's fee, and I told him we would have to take that under advisement.
Just doing my civic duty here.
Right.
No
You
fees.
have a coupon for McDonald's.
Free Happy Meal.
Yes. Okay, well, so that, with that, with that change, are we ready to approve the requisitions so Annette can process everything
I think she just gave us a new requisition minus that. So
with the corrected amount?
for the corrected amount, so I'm fine.
Okay, so it's been circulated for signature, yes or no?
I believe, oh, Mr. Chair, I'm sorry, go ahead, Annette.
I removed it completely and adjusted the total on the top front.
All right.
And that's floating around somewhere for signatures.
All right, is it good if we do it next week, Christopher? All right, so we'll deal with Spicer next Thursday on the requisition list. Everybody okay with that? All right, since Paul did such a good job with the Pledge of Allegiance, I'd like to recognize him, got all the words just right. And to his left, Caitlin, who is going to be stepping in since Paul's last day is 5 PM tomorrow, is that right? And you go on vacation, and then you're relocating to another office, as I understand it.
Yes, sir. A couple blocks.
Yeah, so it makes me feel really old because I remember when Paul was born. And, I remember seeing your dad, who gave me a cigar. And so I know your parents are rightly proud and you'll do a good job. You've done a good job already. So I appreciate both of you coming in today. We all appreciate everything that you're doing. And did you want to say anything? You don't have to, but you're welcome to.
Well, it's been an honor working with you over these last 3 years. I mean, it's certainly had a difficult period of time to work through with the courts and with the county, but the team, this county is just an incredible place to work. And I think we've provided a really great service to our indigent clients. I'm proud of all the office has accomplished, working with all of you. And I'm very confident that Ms. Locke will do an excellent job carrying the office forward. So thank you. And I'm honored to be here.
Very good. Thank you. And Caitlin, it's good to see you. You know, we're taking action today
Yes.
on the appointment.
Thank you.
And it's good that Paul has this high level of confidence in you. And so we look forward to a seamless interim transition.
I appreciate that. I appreciate the confidence and I'm excited.
Very
Looking
good.
forward.
Now, you both can go back to work if you'd like. And we will look forward to seeing you both again, Paul, under different circumstances. So, all right, thanks. While we're in this mode, we have Maureen Adams here, who,
I get to chase them erosion.
okay, thanks, Christopher. Go ahead.
Yeah, so to the board, Maureen runs our Veteran Services Office. And yesterday, it was really kind of one of those high watermark days for what she and her team do. So out at the Health Department parking lot yesterday, you likely saw a parade of vehicles. This was a program where Maureen and her team were working to provide free meals for the holidays to local veterans. And I think you ran out of food. It was that busy. Is that right?
We ran out of baskets by 1:30 and our event started at 1. We actually had to start off early because we had the cars lined up side by side and we were going to have to start pushing out to Napier. So they were in line. We started giving away food at about 12:30.
And how many weeks of prep went into this event?
2 weeks.
Well done.
So, yeah, thanks. It was an amazing event. We had a really good, we had over 50 volunteers come out to help us. The Whirlpool Veterans Association came out and helped. First contact that we made with Boss Services. I've always seen them, you know, kind of tout that they were very veteran friendly. I called them, they had their marketing director call me back. She immediately put out a Facebook post. They provided containers of coffee for all of the gift baskets, brought out a team of volunteers. So we're looking forward to working with them again in the future. They were amazing. And then we had Lest We Forget. And then we had a lot of veterans that are just really appreciative of the services that we provide. And they always say, what can I do to help? So I reached out to them and so many of them showed up. So it was great to have them all out.
Well
So,
done.
thank you.
Thank you. And Maureen, you all know we did the interview process earlier in the year. And there's a reason why you were the unanimous recommendation of the interview committee. And appreciate the wonderful work that you're doing.
So thank you. It was a good, I mean, without the MVAA helping us and giving us the money to get this going, I don't know how we would have got it done. And then Commissioner Harrison came and helped us out with everybody that was in line after the fact. So thank you very much for that. We're working on phase 2 now. So thank you.
Okay,
Appreciate your confidence.
thank you, Maureen. Thanks for stopping by.
Bye now.
Okay, folks, resolutions, public comments are now due timely. If anyone has anything to say about resolutions that are on the agenda, we have a bunch of them. And let's see, we don't have any added ones, but we have over a page when you go front to back. If you have something to say, now is the time. If you don't, then we're going to go ahead. All right. The deafening sound means, sir. Thank you. Is there support? Moved by Jim, supported by Jim. Any discussion?
Sir?
Yes, sir.
The administrative one appointing Caitlin, do we need to pull that and do that separately? We've done that for others, or just let it roll?
Your call. Don't have to.
Doesn't, then let it roll. I just
Okay.
wanted to make sure.
All right, thanks. Julie?
I would like to abstain from the resolution ending in 2104, the requisition approvals, and from specifically the requisition 62489 for a well path out of an abundance of caution.
62489. Okay. Madam Clerk, did you get that?
I have one question. Were we pulling that other, no, okay, that's the only thing, but I did get the requisition. Commissioner Werfel spoke to me prior to the meeting. Thank you.
Okay. All right. With that caveat, then, is there any other discussion?
On the bills.
Hearing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
Curran,
Yes.
Freeling,
Yes.
Harrison.
Yeah.
Pinkelman. Majerick,
Yes.
Martin,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
Walrath,
Yes.
Werfel.
Yes.
Yarborough.
Yes.
Elliott.
Yes.
Mr. Chair, you have 11 yeas.
Thank you. Okay, we're already down to the bottom of the second page. Committee reports, and PHS is listed first. Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We have a number of items for you to consider. We met this morning, and we have per diems that were approved, reviewed and approved, and they'll come to you next meeting. Also, a recommendation regarding appointed official and non-union salary schedules, an increase in those. A renewal of the lease agreement with the Army Corps of Engineers for access to the South Pier. We renew an agreement for hazardous waste collection with Kalamazoo County. Renew an electronics recycling agreement with Green Earth Electronics Recycling. And then we'll be recommending a change in the evaluation process. This is for our administrator and attorney. So it'll be a change that actually I think will represent your interests quite well. We also met and took action on a personnel issue that we had heard last week, and that did get approved. And then I have a number of resolutions from the Health Department that will come to you on December 22nd. So I'll go through those rather quickly, if you don't mind. First, we're getting additional money from the state of Michigan for support to our registered sanitarian. So we'll be adding an additional person there, and the additional money coming from the state of Michigan to support that position expansion. We also received a grant from the state for the purchase of a drone to assist us with environmental events. Also an additional $15,000 for amending our emerging threats contract with the state of Michigan. And this is for specific to monkeypox and other infections. We'll have some support money in the amount of $158,000 from the state of Michigan for supporting activities of the health department. And so this is a consistent amount with what we got in prior years. We also, a number of the nurses from the health department volunteered at the Niles Screen Park. And as individuals do that, then their nonprofit will get some cash in return. And so our nurses generated $750 from the Niles Screen Park, and that'll go back to support the nurse activities for the health department. We also received a stipend from United Healthcare in the amount of $2,500. We entered into a competition on birth equity. We did not win the #1 prize, but we're honorable mention, and so we are receiving a grant of $2,500 to support birth equity here in Berrien County. And then we're applying for our marijuana grant. This is consistent with what we've done. The program that the health department runs is called the Dirt on Weed, and so that will be a renewal of that. So we had a number of issues, and I'd be glad to answer any questions. You'll see those surface here at the 22nd meeting.
Question. The grant, you said that the grant for a drone?
Yes, $4,700.
Also, does that also cover the state training and certification for drones? Because I believe they have to be through, I think it's through the FAA. And my next question on that is being a municipality, I think it is, Dave, but being that, is there a way do we need a drone? Can't we co-op with the sheriff's department with their drones you said it was for environmental issues, and I don't know what that means.
Well, like as an example, with a spill or, the flooding that we encountered previously, this would be one specific to be used by the health department.
All right.
So
I just had a couple, those are the only questions I had.
Good questions, thank you.
Yeah, all right, thank you.
One side note, the level of acuity that the drones that are used by law enforcement has compared to civilian use is different. So you really could not share it. So, any other questions for PHS? All right, Madam Chair of Finance, you're next on the list.
Thank you. We concurred on the paying the weekly bills and the road payables. We approved the minutes, and that was it.
Very good.
Any questions?
Questions for finance? Okay. Admin, Jim, can you top that?
I anticipated finance taking a little bit longer, so it's gonna take me a minute here to get all my stuff together. Let's see.
You only
Okay.
get 2 minutes.
Yeah, in to see us first this morning was our Community Development Director, Dan Fetty. He talked to us about resolution that's coming to us the next time we get together. It's resolution A2212443. This is for the non-motorized trail along M63. Everybody has seen that diagram. Everybody has been familiar with it here on the board. This is to apply for a SPARK grant, and SPARK is one of the latest acronyms for the state with ARPA money that they've received from the federal government. They're making it available through SPARK grant funds. So this resolution is to apply for a SPARK grant in the amount of $996,600. So you will see that resolution. Dan explained it to us, answered any questions. The committee is perfectly fine with it. Next, we had Mark Heiliger from the road department. And Mark was in to see us about a resolution and to give us an update. The resolution is A 2212437. This is to accept into the county road miles, a Royalton Terrace Village LLC. It's 2,000, I think it's 2,578 feet of roadway to be brought into the Berrien County road system so that the road department will then, we can use it as road miles for Public Act 51, and we will maintain it. So that resolution will be before us so next time we get together. Mark also provided us a couple of handouts and some updates. Talked to us about, winter operations and getting ready for that. Talked about personnel, and he really made note of the fact that he was very successful at the Berrien County Fair in their recruiting efforts there. And so he has filled a lot of positions. He currently has just 2 medium equipment operator positions, 1 mechanic, 2 project engineers, and 2 engineer techs positions available. Otherwise, he was pretty successful in fulfilling the rest of those. He talked to us about the alarm system. Well, I probably shouldn't say this publicly. The alarm system doesn't work or won't work for a few days until they get the parts. Verizon has moved on to 5G. The alarm system accepts 3G, so he's got to get parts to upgrade the equipment to accept the 5G. And I think that's already been taken care of. So the building is secure. So don't try to break into it. Good. Glad I got that. Glad I covered that for the board. That is it from the road department. And then we had the trial court, Judge Bayfield and Carrie Smetanka Haney was in to see us, and Commissioner Werfel would like to report out on that.
Thank you. They gave us an update on the juvenile justice complex. The services portion of that is making progress. That's with the NACO and SJI recommendations that they're working on. And then they have already communicated some of that information to the DLR group. They're expecting to have a completed report on that in January. And then DLR is expected to have their final report by the end of the first quarter in 23, and perhaps reporting out to us in April of next year. There's a new justice at the state, so they're anticipating some changes in 2023, but she did say they've met with that new justice, and they are also focused on the juvenile systems as well. They are working on clean slate legislation, getting that done. They're working on the getting the J-Works up to date and converted hopefully by the fall of 23. And then she also updated us on staffing. There's currently 33 vacancies within the court, and they're trying to keep up with the legislation changes that they have to keep up with. And that's part of the reason they have the needs for people that they have. That's my report.
Commissioner Scott. We've been looking at this for over 3 years. Is there any update at all, or maybe I missed it if I did, but is there any update? Are we members of NACO, or are we members of NACO? Or is it just because we're part of that because the courts are part of NACO?
Brian, do you want to answer that? I mean, we're members of NACO, but I don't think it's strictly because of the courts. There are other services that they provide, but go ahead.
So I'm looking at Annette, she hopped up out of her seat. Annette, are you willing to update the board on the NACO?
Yes, Commissioner Volrath was very helpful in getting me the information that I needed. We are now members of that, and we'll be adjusting the budget accordingly so that we can afford to pay for that going forward.
Any other questions for finance?
Finance?
Sorry, administration.
Admin? I'll take questions too, Mac.
What about PHS?
Yeah.
Okay, let's circle back to make sure. Yep.
I have resolutions to go over yet.
Oh, okay.
So,
All right.
sorry.
If you
Blame it
must.
on Annette. She's the one that keeps loading me up with, with resolutions. but it's not as bad as last week. But anyway, resolution ending in 2433. This is to renew the contract with the Andrews Lab that we use for primarily through the Sheriff's Department. It's a one-year contract and it's in the amount of $141,899. Resolution ending in 2440. This is a contract between B1 Incorporated, which provides tether services for the Sheriff's Department. This is a contract with them. It's a one-year contract in the amount of, I don't see it. Any idea what the amount is? And that is not in the resolution. We'll get that to you. But you'll have it. Resolution ending in 2441. This is to enter into a contract with Correct Care Solutions. That's WellPath. They've changed their name, so it's just that's for the jail at the Sheriff's Department. It is a one-year contract. It's in the amount of $1,886,325.76. Resolution ending in 2445. This is to renew the service agreement with Axon Enterprises, the body cameras that the Sheriff's Department wears. It is a one-year contract. And the contract amount is $458,342. That's all the resolutions we have. Then we had Brian and Mac come in to see us. Brian talked to us about the radio, the 800 tower at the Buchanan site, that they've done some preliminary excavating at that location and found Indian artifacts. So we're going to have to either look for a different site, either on site or at another location. Brian has talked to LMC, which is in Bertrand Township down in the industrial park. That's a possibility, because we looked at 3 or 4 different possibilities before we settled on Buchanan. But Motorola did their tests and said that Buchanan site is the ideal site. So I think our first option is trying to find another spot at Buchanan, correct, Brian? And then if that doesn't work, then we go elsewhere. Because right now they don't know how expansive that artifact will cover on the property, correct?
That's correct. So what we found is that at the Buchanan site, there are indications that there is Native American artifacts that are at the site where we had planned to construct the tower. We have to proceed with tower construction as we get into the spring, summer. It has to occur. So what we are doing is determining, are there alternative options on the current site versus going to another location? I have had conversations with Lake Michigan College leadership about potentially using a portion of their property at their Niles campus. That is a viable option. We still have to make a final recommendation to staff and bring it forward on the absolute preferred location. We have not yet closed on the Buchanan site, so we are still working through that buy-sell agreement. If we decide that we are going to go to a different location, we'll need to notify AEP of our intent. But I would say to the board, we found artifacts. We cannot construct at the original location, so we are going to spend the coming days working on making a final recommendation on where we need to construct this tower.
So what you're saying is we cannot build it on the Buchanan site. We
No.
have to look elsewhere.
No. The Buchanan site is a 20-acre parcel.
Right.
We are working to determine if any of that 20-acre parcel can be the
Because I
location
think
of the
that is
tower.
the preferred solution.
The elevation of the Buchanan site is the best for the tower placement. It ensures you get the most coverage.
Okay, Thank you for that.
Yep.
Any questions?
If I may, Commissioner
Yes,
Kern, on the BI contract, there is no not to exceed for the contract. It's a per unit contract, so it depends on the number of units that are rented for the tethers. But the requisition for that contract would be $175,000 for next year.
Oh, great. Thank you. Appreciate that. Okay, and then the last thing that Brian talked to us about is it will be coming before the whole board on the consultant for Ashley out at the animal control. You know, we talked about bringing in a professional consultant to help her in the initial stages. So that will be coming before the whole board and we will see it next week. That's our report.
Okay, now. Any questions for admin? No? Okay. All right then, commissioner reports, John.
Thank you. On Thursday of last week, the broadband task force met. We had a really great presentation from one of the ISPs called 123Net. They were talking about some of the projects that they have proposed in the state of Michigan and also some of the work that we're doing here in Berrien County and how there may be opportunities there for both. The task force regularly invites different ISPs to come and give us updates on the different projects that they have as we see the broadband discussion continue to ongo and expand. So more to come with that, but it was really interesting. 123Net is actually the ISP that was awarded the contract for Ottawa County for their broadband construction. And so we know that they are well established within the state, and it was good to hear what they had to say. Another item that we are working on is looking at the state's broadband roadmap and their objectives and long-term goal planning, and looking at opportunities for funding and grants. We're looking at there might be some synergies that could be done here within Berrien County to mirror some of the objectives of the state. And then last but not least, I want to encourage anyone from Berrien County to go to the fcc.gov website, look at the new broadband fabric layer that has been just released, look at your address. And what the FCC is encouraging is any property owners to go on there. And if the speeds are inaccurately reported, the location is not correct, like say they have it linked to an outbuilding versus your home, you can challenge the location, you can challenge the accessibility. And they're asking that any property owners do so. And we, as the county, are looking at doing a bulk challenge perhaps. And we have until January 13th to be able to complete that. So those are some of the tasks that we're working on for the broadband initiative. That's my report. Thank you.
And we're completely turned off. You might want to.
Okay, so a couple things. Last week I toured the jail with our Representative-elect Joey Andrews. That was the day before the fire in the chimney. Then I also attended the Health Board meeting yesterday, reception from Cornerstone Alliance, recognizing their contributors, and also the Human Services Council last week. And then on the veterans distribution of food, I mean, it was not just veteran services, but the health department and our roads department all contributed. And it was great to see the synergy and just a great opportunity for the county to put itself forward. And then next, I'd like to talk a bit about the evaluation of our administrator and our corporate counsel. If you remember, the county board has two employees, the administrator and the corporate counsel. And so annually we do an evaluation of their performance. So what I'm passing out, this will be a challenge now where everybody take one and Sharon, I have one for you, one of each. These are the evaluation forms. We're gonna see how we do as far as take one and pass. Okay, you're gonna get, everybody's gonna go away with 2. So one for Mr. Doucette. No, I've got one for Sharon, so. Yes. So you'll end up with 2, one for Mr. Doucette, and one for Mr. Hackworth. Then what I will ask you to do is complete these sometime yet in the next 2 weeks. And then if you want to put them in an envelope and leave them in my mailbox upstairs, then I'll make sure we get them compiled, and then we'll review those at our organizational meeting at the start of the year. Okay, so now does everybody got 2? I'll give you one. Okay, any questions about what I would like you to do?
Everybody clear on this process?
And then I've got
They go
one
back
for
to-
Ray Bell
to-
and myself.
To give them to Bob.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right, we good? Everybody got, okay, that would conclude my report.
Okay.
I attended BC Bit that Terry reported on. I went on the tour that Bob reported on. The other thing that I did Monday is I sat on an interview panel for the sheriff's department for that open sergeant position at the EOC, and excellent candidates, and we did select one. That's my report.
Both of my meetings were canceled this week. That's my report.
I too attended the jail tour with Representative Andrews, or Representative-elect Andrews. We also, the other thing we covered with him also was a lot of our priorities, which was a good meeting as well, to be able to discuss those things that we want to move forward and things we may need help with the state from. So that was a good meeting. I had the Connexus Board of Directors meeting last week also, where we received the annual audit of the financials. That went well. 2021, 22, their year end is in July, I believe. Still getting used to that. I was appointed at that meeting to the CEAC committee, and then after I accepted that, they said, oh, and by the way, you're the chair. So I thank them for bearing that lead, and so hopefully next year I continue on the Connexus board, because they just appointed me to this. That's my report.
I also attended Cornerstone Alliance's appreciation night that they had, and had some wonderful conversations with Commissioner Yarborough, and also got to get acquainted with members of the community, executives and so forth that had close ties with my family, which was nice to have that done again, and talk about some times we had from previous years. And that's my report.
I attended the BC Bit meeting with Commissioner Freeling, our chair, and with Jim Curran, and she did a fine job. I'd say she did a fine job, didn't she, Jim? And my last meeting of any of my committees was canceled yesterday. I know Thaddeus is just as upset as I am, because it was, we wanted to be there. It was Sewer and Septic Appeals Board, so I'm sure that someone on this committee, on this board, jump at the chance to take that job. It's a very good job, and Thaddeus is outstanding to work with. That's my report.
On my report, I visited the jail, was that last Thursday? Then I went to the Connexus board meeting that evening, and it was good talking with, and, you know, privately with Commissioner Martin. And then with the, had the Connexus board meeting on Friday. We won't meet again until March. And we had an audit report, and we're in excellent condition. And that's it. I keep saying that, don't I? A new word, a new phrase.
That's it.
Thank you.
Okay. Let's see what else we have going on here. Do you have anything to add?
Yeah, just real quickly, the Friends of Berrien County Animal Control, we've briefed you all on the placement of fencing material that they're paying for. That construction is underway today. So Robert, after he left the committee of the whole, bounced over to animal control, and Wiltsey Fencing is doing the work on behalf of the Friends. Roads, the road department is meeting today with township officials to go over the 2023 paving plans and maintenance plans, so that township outreach is underway. For any of you that are curious, yesterday the Parks Department hosted their annual end of year luncheon. So they pulled together all of their staff. It was hosted at Love Creek. And the highlight for me was they got to show me they've constructed an enclosure inside of Love Creek, and they are nursing an owl back to health. So there's a live screech owl that's on display. Anybody that wants to go and take a look, pretty neat. And then lastly is just thanks for the flexibility last week. I was sick as a dog. So allowing me to participate in your meeting remotely and not to get Jim Curran sick again. So thank you all very much. Yeah, thanks. Those are my comments, sir.
All right, very good. General public comments are now in order. Anything under the sun in 2 minutes or less, name and town, name and town.
Toy Van so had the pleasure of going to the vet yesterday and finding out that you can no longer pay your animal licensing at the vet when you pay your rabies shots. Also found out that the animal control has stopped picking up carcasses at the vets for some reason. Now, we're paying fees for animal control, the license fees, but they're cutting services. I don't really think that's a great idea. You've got people that live in apartments, you got people that live places where you can't bury a pet in the backyard or whatever. What are the people supposed to do with them? Take them, dump them along the road? The county don't pick them up. The road department don't pick them up. I think that move was just a little bit too fast, so to speak. The other thing is, it was mentioned this morning about the generator at the jail. If there's a fuel tank buried at the jail someplace to run that generator, I think it'd behoove you guys to immediately, if not sooner, switch that thing over to natural gas. Because it's gonna cost you far more if you gotta dig up that tank on that river than it is to switch that tank over to natural gas.
Thank you.
That's me again. Elder Hager. Okay, I want to say a couple of things about the World Cup of, not soccer, it's the World Cup of football. The whole world participates in it. They start out about 2 years ahead of time, and it's an elimination. And what we have this year is 32 teams. Now we're down to, I watched every ball game. We're down to about 16. It's going to be over in a couple of weeks. Uncle Sam's out, so it's my home country. Germany's out too. So Brazil's probably the favorite. So but my complaint is, no, we have American football, which is not football. No, we are insulting the rest of the world that plays football, or it's played with the feet. No, they have rules. So we come up with football, American football here, we call it soccer. Now, what does the word sock mean? Punch somebody in the mouth, you sock them, right? I don't know who came up with that word. Stupid. No, we're trying to kill each other. And we love it, right? And we put a helmet on them or we try to kill the next guy. That is not a sport. Soccer is played by, it's a real cheap sport. Get a couple of stones, get somebody with a ball, then count up the teams or get the teams and then get out there. You don't even need shoes. You can play barefooted. So Americans seem to think, we're better than the rest of the world. So we take that word and we make soccer out of it. It is not soccer. I mean, it's not football, it's soccer. You hit somebody, you sock them, right? But if you're playing football, they got rules. You sock somebody, yellow card. Do it again, yellow card. Then you're out. You're red carded. You can't play the rest of the game. You can't play the next game either. And you cannot replace that guy either. Apparently those rules don't seem to apply what we do over here.
2 minutes,
So
sir.
Soccer is not the right word that you use for football. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Yes, ma'am.
I watched it because they kept advertising and I watched a couple of the games. I didn't know how many members were on a team. I didn't know how long they played. It would be 80 minutes, then it was 60 minutes.
90.
And so it was really interesting. And they have pretty shoes.
Well, I think public comments are done because.
No, I'm
one-
not done.
Well, all right, you try to top that. So,
Okay, I'm Sharon Tyler, the Berrien County Clerk, resident of the city of Niles. And I just want to give you a little update on my office. As you know, Sheila Wrights, my chief deputy, resigned. Her last day was Friday. My acting chief deputy is Debbie Vitale, who is sitting here today. And she's learning to take minutes. And the reason why is next Thursday, I will not be here. So be very kind to her taking minutes. We will be doing recounts. We will have a local recount at the Niles South County Courthouse, and I thank the staff of Berrien County for helping me put this together. We will be recounting the city of Buchanan council member. We will also be recounting the Berrien Springs Village Council and the Coloma School District. These are nonpartisan elections. Republicans and Democrats cannot challenge. Also, on Thursday, we will be a part of a statewide recount for 4 municipalities: Bridgman City, Chickaming, Royalton, and St. Joe Township. We will be taking a bus trip, and thanks to Dan Fenney and Brian helping me out, most of us will be riding a bus. Some will be driving their local municipality's van. And we will be going to Allegan County at the Griswold Auditorium. The recount at the Allegan will be at 10 o'clock. We will be doing the AVs and the regular precincts of those. And I'm hoping we have a very positive event. We will be partnering, or a joint effort will be with Allegan, Ottawa, and Barry County. So you will not see me that day, during the day, and hopefully I'll be able to join you that evening, and everything will work out very positive and we will know who the winners are. But I just wanted you to be aware of these 2 events next week. I'm done.
May I suggest we put her under other business? So I don't have to put her on the clock.
I got the time.
if you know this, if you know that last speaker, please note her name and town in the minutes. So,
I will get that.
okay. Anyone else? Yes, sir.
Good morning, everybody. Shokwe Pitchford, County Commissioner-elect of Benton Charter Township. I just wanted to let you know that I'll be taking over as community co-chair of ALPAC starting in 2023. Anyone who knows me, they know that I have a penchant for law enforcement. I have a great respect for people in law enforcement. And what I want to do is kind of bridge that divide between where I come from and law enforcement and get more people into the profession, while also making sure that we're humanizing our officers. We're making sure that people understand that they're just doing their job. They're trying to protect the community. And, I'm excited about that. I'm happy to be appointed. So thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Yes, sir.
I'd like to make one comment to Mr. Peltzer that you need to blame the British for this, because Britain was the one that changed it from association football to soccer. It started out being ASOC, which is Association of Soccer shortened. And then it was shortened to SOC, and then they changed it to soccer. So it's not us in the United States. You need to go back over to Europe and complain to the British Parliament.
Brits aren't part of Europe.
I don't know which committee has authority over soccer, but, right. From earlier this morning, I know I got socked and there was a K in there after the C. Okay, anybody else? Yeah, really. Don't ask Robin Williams to explain golf. You'll fall over, your gut will collapse because you're laughing so hard. Other business, do we have a head count on who's going to dinner next week?
We do. I think I've heard from everyone, Mr. Chair, and we have 21. Possibly 22.
Okay, and when Judge Mayfield was in admin, she reminded of the juvenile center reception that's at 5:30. So if you wanted to make an appearance there before dinner, you certainly could. And the suggestion was made to extend an invite to Don Meeks, who'd been on this board for many years before he retired. Is it okay to extend that invite to Donnie to join us?
Absolutely.
Okay. Okay. Would you be willing to do the honors? Okay. All right. Anybody have any other business? Announcements and reminders. Closed Friday, the 23rd, Monday, the 26th. No meeting on the 29th unless Santa says we're really bad, then we will have to meet. So, okay.
Quick update. To Tony, your comment about vets not being allowed to take payments. I've confirmed with Ashley that yes, they are still allowed to take payment. Feel free to speak with her if you have that concern. But I have it confirmation that yes, they're still allowed, and further, animal control does provide pickup service upon request by the vet's office. Thank you, sir.
Well, let's do it this way.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay. They don't have to take it, but they have the option of providing. Yeah, I mean, you can't make them do it,